was seeking purpose. I had read a book by Tim Ferriss called 4-Hour Workweek, in which he proposed that you could work a 4-hour work week and still have all the things that you dreamed of. And what was cool is I followed that book to a T, and a year and a half later, I had a passive income business that required me 0 hours a week. It spiraled me into a place of like, now what?
Humans are the only thing that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. How have I noticed the external world change as I continue to do the work? I think that doing the work is just how much can you connect to yourself, and the external world will reflect how connected you are to yourself. There's been so many times where I've stayed in certain situations where I know deep inside I'm not supposed to be in this, whether it's a job, relationship. And so doing the work is, can I actually connect to myself and then speak my truth, live my truth, whether or not I'm going to be judged by other people. And so the external world reflects how connected you are to yourself and how much you've actually been like taking action from that place. Because when you are deeply connected to yourself, you will be in the right environment. You will attract the right people. And right now, I am surrounded by incredible people. I'm exactly where I need to be. And that will continue to change because life is always a navigation. But I notice myself being quicker at when I'm in a situation that is not for me. I'm quicker to do the work. I'm quicker to shift and change my energy based on how I'm feeling.
For me, I feel like I'm more inclined to remove myself from the world. And what I mean by that is removing the judgments and the perceptions. I think I have been able to slow down so much, which in turn, causality effect, has allowed me to feel more and then be more present with my immediate reality. The world is a big place, and there are a multitude of worlds spiraling in this one. And I've been in each of those worlds wondering if I could master each and every part of them. And it's very tiring. And so it's been nice to just focus on my immediate reality, not even controlling it, but just being present in it. And that has shaped and shifted my perception of my external world, which I think is just a reflection back, a mirroring effect. It's an echo chamber, So yeah, I think that we are in control of that by what we create in the mirror and then what we look back at, and it reflects back to us. So for me, it's just presence, focusing on my immediate reality and slowing down so that I can actually feel life that much more fully. I want to speak to a time period in my life where I was seeking purpose. I had read a book by Tim Ferriss called 4-Hour Workweek, in which he proposed that you could work a 4-hour work week and still have all the things that you dreamed of. And what was cool is I followed that book to a T, and a year and a half later, I had a passive income business that required me 0 hours a week. And my purpose was to try to achieve that. And once I achieved it, it was a big relief, but it was also, it spiraled me into a place of like, now what? Now what I do? I hit a destination without another one in mind. And I found myself just traveling. So with this extra time, I explored the world. But in that, I found actually a lot of loneliness in that time frame. To me, purpose is just something that keeps you moving day in and day out. And there's this, I think Gary Vaynerchuk says it's dying on your own sword, like something that like you love, that you enjoy enough that you figure out a way that you can do more of it. And purpose is this weird thing that humans seem to dabble with. You've spoken a little bit about that with animals versus humans and finding your purpose. But yeah, I'm actually hear you talk about that a little bit.
Humans are the only thing that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. We're the only ones that are just swimming around and flailing about and just causing so much stress and anxiety of what do I do with my life?
Yeah.
And I've talked about purpose a lot, but we get to put the meaning on our life. We get to make our life meaningful. And for me, the purpose of being alive is to be alive. Like, how alive can I become? And as I'm navigating through life, what experiences make me feel alive? What experiences make me feel more human? And that has led me down a route of working with other humans. That has made me feel the most human and made me feel the most alive.
Servitude. That's good.
The fact that you're asking this question of how do I gain capacity is a sign that you're growing, because most of the time when we become dysregulated, that means we are growing. That means we have exceeded our capacity. And it's how do I find balance in that state of dysregulation? How do I've taken on more and more things. And so it's like, how do I find balance within that state? And that grows my capacity. And so as I move through life, I know when I'm adding more things on or attacking more complex dynamics, and I become dysregulated, it's like, oh, now it's time to, how do I figure out how to do this from a place of balance? That's growth.
I love the idea of kind of a memory card. We've watched iPhones go from like 16 gigabytes when it first came out to now like 265. I don't even know the number, but an incredible amount. Our technology also, just like us, because it is an extension of us, yearns to actually build more capacity. Our phones, our devices, they have more capacity. Why? Because we've built more.
Humans are incredibly resilient. Like, we are taking in more information now than our grandparents probably took in their whole life. Like, the amount of information that our phones are throwing at us on a day-to-day level, the amount of relationships that we have to manage, the amount of conversations between emails, texts, DMs, all the different things, like, humans have never done that before. And that's very new. And so our nervous systems were not designed for that. And it shows how resilient we actually are, because we are figuring out ways to handle a massive amount of information that's being thrown at us.
Yeah. And when you hang out with like a 12-year-old and you see their capabilities of utilizing technology,
you
and how
see
to
human
work with
evolution.
You see evolution in just a matter of one generation.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see it.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
That's why I think that a lot of, I watch a lot of people in the like super health biohacking realm, like worried about EMFs and GMOs and all of these different things that are very toxic to us, and we should be aware of it.
Of course.
But at the same time, humans are just like so resilient. We will find a way to overcome it.
Evolution always does.
And life will destroy whatever it wants to, and something more beautiful will emerge from that. It does all the time. That's how nature works.